Yeah.
Yo,
hello.
what's going on, everybody?
Welcome, everybody.
to Entertainment.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
gotta get that like that. Yo, welcome everybody to the Rogue Entertainment, the most must-see program on TV tonight, starring Itabakuin in a place to be reviews. Enter the unfamiliar and our host, the Supreme Heretic, Drew Taylor!
Hail Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective.
Oh man, we gotta just have you introduce every show on Rogue Entertainment that way.
You know, and I'm telling
He's
you,
the Michael Buffer of Rogue Entertainment.
It isn't drugs either. This is just naturally me being stupid.
Well, you know what though. It's good to see you, coming in positive, and we had a good thing today, Tommy, because we did have something positive. Finally, finally, you guys out there in the chat, and I see you, Merkale. Hail to you, Keely Chow. Hail to you, Brutal Morningwood. What is up, my friend? Bone, Soul Assassin. Good to see you guys. And of course, our boy Tiki of Doom, Zach 7, Cooper, Lord Runner, what is up? And of course, the wonderful Through the Veil Paranormal. By the way, Through the Veil, Nicole, I will reach out to you, and we're going to have to set up something for this Sunday because we would like you to be on Enter the Unfamiliars. So I will get in touch with you, and we will discuss the details of that, and we'll have you on board for that on Sunday. We also have Vinny. Great to see Vinny Art up in the house. But
always a pleasure.
But as I was saying, though, it's nice to have something good happen for a change, because we get so much crap out of Hollywood. We get so much, things that just slap us in the face with disrespect. Kevin Smith right now being Exhibit A with Masters of the Universe and everything else there.
Can I hit on that just really quick? Just
yeah,
really quick.
yeah.
You know what? Let me tell you. I'm gonna share a little story with everybody. Now I've been around. You know how I get around to a lot of different channels, and I see a lot of different people's opinions. This is just something I do, and you know what? It doesn't really matter to me if somebody has a differing opinion. I mean, I don't know if Mads is here tonight, but Mads has a different opinion on the whole, He-Man thing. She actually likes it. You know what? Good for you. But it's the people that tell us that, we can't speak out on this because, we don't think that you're really fans, or we don't think you should speak out on it if you haven't watched the entire thing all the way through and you're just taking it on your presumptions of how the series is going to go. Let me tell you something. These series and these toy lines that you just like mockingly laugh at because they don't mean anything, they mean a lot to people like me. I grew up on these toy lines. Those franchises mean a lot to me, not just because they were my favorite toys in the world, it's because they're actually a link to my past, to a happy time in my life. At a time when my parents were still both alive, and that they are the ones that introduced me to these franchises. So when you tell me that I shouldn't speak on them because they're just a toy line, because they're just a comic book, or they're just a cartoon, here's what you can do. You can take your myopic little stupid ideas, you can shine them up real nice, you can turn them sideways, and you can shove them straight up your candy ass.
Hail,
okay,
brother.
thank you.
That's right. Yeah. That's right, Tommy.
Beautifully said, Tommy.
And go ahead, Vinny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. I did 4 hours on this on Sunday on my stream.
Well, that's why we're not going to touch on it too much because, again, we had better news today, and that came in the form of a new trailer.
I was just going to say before we get into that, again, a lot of things that people aren't aware. Kevin Smith came in later They were full into production already. He is literally the face for this because they needed someone with a very big audience who's gonna push it the proper way and could fight with everyone. Someone who's gonna get a lot of attention. It was designed that way because I know how it's gonna end as well. They were writers guilds and scripts got out, and I was aware of a lot of things that happened as well through another friend, and it pretty much.
Vinny, but spill the beans. Maybe you'll have Kevin Smith coming after you next.
90% of what happened beforehand, it all played out that same way. But like I said, we did 4 hours, and it wasn't just bashing. What we did was we dissected it as writers. We had 4 writers there, and we dissected it. One of which wasn't even familiar with He-Man, and we were given the key points, and she agreed with us, and she was like, "Holy shit, that is the worst writing I ever heard in my life." So that's what it comes down to. It wasn't for the sake of it, because again, I don't do that on my channel. We dissected it as creators, and that show is garbage top to bottom.
It's insultingly bad, Vinny, from a writing perspective. And like I said, we talked about this last night, and I dabble in writing. That's one thing, I enjoy writing just for the sake of writing, nothing in particular. But these characters and the dialogue, it's like you couldn't have, if you wanted people to be drawn to Teela, you should have actually put some effort into writing for her character, other than making her a petulant, egotistical, narcissistic cow. That's all they did. And it was.
Go ahead, Etep. Sorry.
No, it was just, like I said, if anybody likes strong women, it's me, man, both physically, mentally, and otherwise. And it was just like I said, I looked at like Evelyn's design, and say what you want about it, but like her face was still rounded, even though she had some pipes on her. Teela had this square jaw, and it was like the size. She had Drago's jaw from Rocky IV.
But did you catch some of those pictures on Twitter where they actually just took away her hair?
Yes, yes. It's a man.
You got to remember. The water and attorney turn everyone gay. All right? You know this. Infowars.com. We have the receipts. We have the proof. Attorney's water turns everyone gay. It's the fluoride, it's the chemicals, it's the magic. We know this.
Oh man,
that's perfect.
All right, gotta say some hellos. Of course, our boy the Wake Down popped in the chat. One of the wonderful supporters of the channel, Rita Doherty. Great supporter around this community. She popped in. It's great to see you, Rita. Big tackle hugs to you. Love it. And of course, a big hello to our buddy Steve Kenobi. Steve, great to see you. Oh,
My name is Stephanie, brother. I'm the new female weightlifter on the team. How you doing?
Yeah.
Are you sure, ma'am? Are you sure your name is Stephanie?
I said my name's Stephanie, brother. What's wrong with you?
I'm seeing a few comments. Yes, I could definitely take Kevin. I tower over that little shit. I met him a couple times.
Vinny, you can't beat up an AIDS patient, man.
Well, I could. I just won't look like a hero. Well, wait a minute. It's Kevin Smith. I'll still look like a hero.
Right?
All right. Hail to our dude, another monster. Great.
My Nephilim brothers. Hail, another monster.
Nephilim.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah. Of course, we didn't properly introduce our dude, Makini. What's up? You've been sitting there just quiet, Makini.
Oh, what's going on, guys? Thought I'd give you something a little pleasant to look at, and something a little familiar to look at too. So
I don't want to see that Makini. Oh, you're drawing. Never mind.
It's not pleasant enough. My hand is not pleasant enough. That's what you're saying, Tom?
That's not what I thought you were going to show.
Hail, step back.
We've had Bat Dong. Now we got Mac Dong. What the hell's going on here? What the hell kind of comic book is this?
Wait. Whoa. What was that? What was that? Hold on a second.
Through the veil, you'll have to let me know about that. Yeah, we'll definitely check that out.
Sure, blow me up. Hold on for a second. How's this for? How is this for a Bat Dong then? Is that pleasant enough for you, E-Tap?
Man, that's a great.
He's all bulgy like a bull moose.
Exactly.
That's a great Batman.
That's badass drawing, man.
Thank you. It's done. I'm gonna frame it today.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So basically, what we had today was another trailer came out for Ghostbusters Afterlife, and see, the thing that obviously we can't show the trailer because I know, like, with it being, I believe ETEP and I were talking about that, with it being Paramount, though they will very likely ding me if I try to play the
Very
trailer.
likely.
Yeah.
It's Paramount. They're just sitting there with their finger on the button.
Yeah, so essentially, we've seen it today, though. We've watched it, most of us, and I can tell you that, this is a movie that looks like, Jason Reitman. Obviously, we know that his father did Ghostbusters, the original, and then Ghostbusters 2. This looks to be more along the lines of that same style, and and there is actually a very good breakdown that he did. Surprisingly, if you watch the trailer on IGN's channel, Jason Reitman actually, does a whole technical breakdown of it and explains some of his thinking, the way that they're doing it. And I was really happy when he mentioned that they're using a lot more practical effects in this movie, like, because he pointed out, because you can see in the one part of the trailer, like the sort of like pinkish neon streaks that sort of resembled the same thing out of the '84 movie when you see like the ghost energy coming through the air.
Yeah, the song "It's Magic, Magic,"
Right.
It's magic, and all the ghost energy shooting up from the top of the building.
Yeah.
I thought that it looks very reminiscent of that. It looks like they used the same effect. Yeah.
He said that what they did was they actually got the effect out of the original special effects suite and went and scanned it in, and were able to recreate it faithfully. He said that they also like hand built the props, like the trap. They got it down to every single screw, every detail. The same thing with the proton packs, with everything that they're using, the PKE meter. Which, by the way, it was cool seeing it in
Drew, are you
trailer.
saying that he's respecting his father's work, respecting the original content, respecting the IP that his father crafted and put so much time into? Is that what you're saying?
And he says it himself in there. He's like, we wanted to faithfully recreate the Ghostbusters, mythos, the universe, and stay with what got us here. This is about honoring the franchise, honoring the fans. And he laid it out perfectly in that breakdown, and I like the fact that they have a nice mix, because somebody did mention, Stieg actually mentioned, it does look very Stranger Things, and yes, Stieg, I agree with you on that, but I think that it's
maybe they're using that as a template.
I think it's going. I think it's going the right way, that you're going, using it from the lens in the mind's eye of Egon's grandkids or the kids, and then working on from there, because you can have the now older but very
that's fantastic.
But you can have the now older but very experienced Ghostbusters come back, because these kids are it's obvious that the kids are going to try to combat whatever supernatural disaster is happening.
You're gonna get in over their heads.
They're going to get in over their heads, and the older guys are going to come to save the day, and then we're going to
Well, the trailer ends with Ray picking up the phone. You know, say, you know, it's like I looked at the sign on the window, even though it was backwards, but it looked like it said like Voodoo Shop or something like that.
Yeah, it's Ray's.
I think it's a cult or a cult. Yeah, Ray's a cult, right?
Ray's a cult books.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
and that originated in Ghostbusters 2.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the bookstore.
We saw his bookstore that he owned. So, you know, there's a lot of detail. The Ray reveal at the end was really cool. And we're not talking about a crappy Star Wars Ray reveal. We're talking about our boy Ray Stan's reveal, you know. So that was cool. I really like how they put things together. I really like the shot of the Ecto-1. I like the next generation version of Slimer. And I know that, Jason Reitman kind of said that it's not Slimer. It's the same classification of ghost, but this is like another one.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks different than Slimer.
Yeah, so
you can tell the facial features are different.
Well,
so
you know what, Drew?
Slimer was patterned out.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Slimer was patterned off of
Belushi.
Oh God, yeah, Belushi. Yeah, Belushi. Yeah, so I'd like to know who they patterned this one off of.
Well, you know, Drew, what I was going to say is we actually seen this actually coming, you know, for those of us that follow like the toy franchises, we've seen this coming for about a year and a half. Look at Harrison. We've seen this coming for about a year and a half, because for a year and a half, they've actually had these, you know, like prop type toys that they've had in the stores. We were talking about it earlier backstage where they had the traps, they have the PKE meters, they have like the, what did we say? The gun. There's the gun portion of the power pack. Not, we
said don't have the proton.
The accelerator.
Yeah, the accelerator. Thank you. The accelerator. They did toys for the original show, and then ETEP. You were talking about the newer ones that they were doing.
Yep, got it right here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would not be surprised, because you know we're meeting the characters in the trailer, so we know. The kid, as far as the kids go, there's Trevor, there's Phoebe, which has a striking family resemblance, which I kind of like that they have the family resemblance to sort of that Egon archetype, and I like that. So
same type of glasses, same look, kind of the hair.
So you've got Trevor, who's the older kid that's kind of like, you know, it looks to be around 16, 17 years old. And you have Phoebe, that's the younger one, looks to be about, you know, 13, 14, probably around that 14 range. It looks really cool, and I wouldn't doubt that there's probably already figures of those.
Well, here's the whole thing. I want to get back to the point that I was making, and ETEP has shared the picture of the newer figures. But the point I was making is that they were showing respect to this through that toy line that they started introducing, and like these don't look half bad for they look very much like good. They look very much like the original Ghostbusters figures that they were releasing, like. And what they also did to show respect to the Ghostbusters franchise, not only did they start making these really well-detailed figures, they have an Ecto-1 that looks absolutely fantastic, but they also brought back the real Ghostbusters, once again paying respect to something that came before, something that all the fans enjoyed. So they actually have been going out of their way to show a lot of respect to the Ghostbusters franchise, and I think there's a lot of people that just want to be outraged that have probably missed it.
I want to see a translucent Egon, though. You know, like a ghost figure Egon. I really hope they release like a figure cool. like that.
Force Ghost Egon.
The thing is, and I think it was a perfect time for this to come out right after what happened this weekend, because one, it doesn't, like, you don't get the sense at all that this is going to be a bait and switch in any way, shape, or form. You get the sense that even that Phoebe, the character like Phoebe is going to take over. Probably not. It's definitely going to be an ensemble. It's definitely going to be an ensemble cast. Even if that was the case, it would be handled so much better. And the third part is that it. And I think that this is one of the most important things is that you look at this trailer and you can tell, even though he has said nothing about it, you can tell that Ivan Reitman is like, we are going to erase every single sample of Ghostbusters 2016. That doesn't exist anymore.
And
we're trying to put Ghostbusters on the right path.
Machini, you've really upset somebody that I know pretty well, and you know.
Is that Paul Feig? Is that Paul Feig?
Or Kevin Smith, or both of them.
I look like Kevin. But hey, you know what? Someone said Force Ghost. They asked me. I don't know what the fuck a Force Ghost is. And I don't give a shit.
Oh, not that nice, Harrison. The thing is I really like the way that these figures look, and it makes sense. And again, for all the people out there, that go with the narrative nowadays that like to support diversity and inclusion, well, guess what? In the trailer, it's very organic. You've got a well-rounded mix. You've got just like a really like the feel I get from the group of kids is very just it has that sort of throwback feel to like the Scooby-Doo gang. Very just a diverse group of friends. And I can dig that. I really like that. And to see this movie, I think it's going to be pretty good for Ghostbusters fans, because in the end, the fans are going to win. And I'll tell you what, anytime that the fans can get a win these days, man, that is something to be celebrated.
I agree. I was going to say about all this too. I think it is smart what they're doing, because you could see there is that wholesomeness about it again, and you can see that they geared it towards kids, and that was the problem with the other one, like that reboot that they tried to do and all that shit. It was girl power, this and that, and you know what they were trying to do.
Well, this is
this is what I'm saying. Over here, you could see again. We saw the teaser trailer, we saw the full trailer. They're being respectful. They're bringing in the younger audience again. And they're shaping it in the right way. Like you said, there's throwbacks to what happened in the original 2 movies, stuff like that. And that's what you want. This is how you do a better scripted movie. Well, from appearances sake.
Well, you know what, kids? If I was to bring this series back myself, what I would do is the first thing I would do is I would kill everybody off, because that's what the fans want.
First thing you do is shut your mouth. That's the first thing you would do.
Oh God, no.
You know what? You go drink your soy latte. You drink your poisonous water that's filled with fluoride. You do that, and you keep turning gay. You do Infowars.com. Remember, get your iodine capsules at Infowars.com. Fight the gay.
Kevin Smith, you're ignorant.
You ignorant.
You're ignorant, Kevin Smith. God, please stay away from Black Panther. Next thing you know, Kevin Smith's crying ass will be trying to play Charla. It's Black Panther, not Fat Panther, Kevin Smith.
Oh God. But no, to get
Never trust a man who shaves his legs.
Is it?
The hair is coming out of my shirt from the shoulders. That's how hair I am. High tea. That's what we do at Infowars.com. Don't trust a man who shaves his legs.
Is it just me, or does it look like Kevin Smith? If you put an air compressor, that's right, an air compressor in his belly button, you could blow him up like a Macy's Thanksgiving Day float. one of those parade balloons of Kevin Smith crying all over Manhattan. Wouldn't that be fucking cute in the Macy's parade?
And I would knock that down from the sky. I'm like, you know.
Oh, look, here's Underdog. Oh, look, it's Garfield. And what the hell is that ugly thing crying, moping around for? Oh, Jesus, it's Kevin Smith. Somebody hit it with a rocket.
Oh God.
We're ready to sacrifice Lower Manhattan to take out a balloon of Kevin fucking Smith.
Oh jeez, oh man. But no, honestly, if you get into that discussion in the IGN trailer where Jason Reitman's breaking that down. Oh, chat's on fire. Nice. Jason Reitman explains that the formula that they wanted to use was just perfectly natural. And he said, this is by all means the way that we're doing it. It's a movie that parents and kids are going to enjoy together. It's going to be an experience for the family, because everybody's going to get something out of it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's cool, because listen,
I need to have. Sorry, I said it last night. I need to have.
The lesbians, yoo-hoo!
We got Rita cracking up over there. Hail Sam McCabe, good to see you.
You know what, kids? Well, when I was in charge of Batman, I made him piss himself because that's what the fans wanted.
What kind of a man does it again? And that's what I said. That's the character that he loved the most, and he did that to Batman. Now imagine He-Man that he never watched, never liked, never cared about.
Yeah. Well, the thing though that I'm happy about with this Ghostbusters is a lot of us have fond memories of. I know when I saw the movie in the first one, Benny was 84, and the second one was 89.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the ones in 84 and 89 I saw with my dad. I went with my dad and mom to see the 89 one. I went with my dad to see the 84 one. And, it was an experience. It was an experience because, those are the type of movies meant to be enjoyed together with like your pops or your dad and your mom, because there's something in there for everybody, because it's a balance, a little mix of horror, sci-fi, all kind of elements, and it's just fun. And this movie looks to be going along that same path, and I'm all for that.
Hell yeah, I'm with you there, man. Like I said, it looks great, it looks fun. It's wholesome. It's gonna have everything we need. And from what the toys showed, I'm glad we're getting at least the three of them. They're coming back. So. That's awesome.
I mean, when those two original films first came out, and the phenomena was so strong. I mean, not only did you wind up getting action figures and stuff like that eventually, because they wound up spawning a cartoon that ran for quite a few seasons, and that developed.
That was a fun cartoon.
That was like one of the things.
Up.
Yeah, but that was one of the things I was talking about. Like, they brought back the real Ghostbusters cartoon. But I mean, here's a little fun thing. Do you know why they called it the real Ghostbusters?
No, I don't.
There was another Ghostbusters cartoon.
There was another Ghostbusters cartoon. Mm-hmm. No, it was just a regular Ghostbusters cartoon that had like an ape and some other stuff in it. It was a completely different show made by a completely different company.
But there was also a live action one that was before that as well. And Dan Aykroyd was gonna change it into it wasn't. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it. He had something very odd, and it wasn't gonna work. But they were able to use it by separating the words. One had it separated, one had it together. That was one of the other stipulations that was in there. Yeah, it was a while ago I heard this one, but yeah.
There was an older movie by the name Ghostbusters too, I believe, too, wasn't it? Or was it Ghostbuster?
I think it was Ghostbusters.
I think it was like an old black and white film.
Yeah. And I think it had a big ape in it or something too.
Wait, was the ape one? Was that? It was in no way related at all to the universe of Ghostbusters.
No.
It was
no,
totally
that
different,
was
just a totally random other thing that had nothing
Right.
to do with the
They just
movie.
happen to
Okay.
have the name.
that's
before them.
I thought that was funny
didn't
when
know
because
that.
I looked into that. It was like a couple of years ago because I searched it on. I was just doing a search of the Ghostbusters cartoon, and the other one popped up, and I'm like, no, this has got to be a mistake. And I'm looking at it, it's like, nope, this is okay, and it's completely unrelated. But no, the new trailer today, like, it got me. Like, Paul Rudd, like, looks like he fits right into this universe. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I like about Paul Rudd is he doesn't come in and like completely take over a project, but he's like that, like, icing on the cake. You know what I mean? Like, he never does too much, but it's always just enough.
Always just enough, and that's what makes it work. Well, that's why I like Ant-Man. At least the first Ant-Man, I'll say.
Yeah, the second one was kind of meh.
So that first Ghostbusters movie came out in 1954.
Wow. Okay, that's why. That was a
Wow.
while ago. That was a minute ago.
It had an ape in it, right?
I really don't recall. I'm trying to look at the trailer while it's on mute.
I know. Yeah, because there were two kind of screw ups. One for the movie, and then when they did the cartoon. Yeah, you're right. That's why they did the real Ghostbusters. It was a double thing that happened, which is kind of
1954. You said?
It was supposed to be 1954.
Looking on IMDb, I don't even
God,
see it here. More titles exact.
they're doing a release of because I showed that Hasbro Pulse thing that the first three figures, they're gonna release the Phoebe figure like this fall, I think, which that always annoyed me when you would do that with a line of toys. It's like, here's the main cat. Oh no, we're just gonna sans one.
You know what? And considering, like, do a side by side of this and then like the premiere trailer for 2016, and then you think about how much money that 2016 film lost. Okay, that's why I'm definitely looking forward to it. That's why I think this has so much promise. Like, if you guys really want a good kind of history into just the absolute disaster of just everything that went down with Ghostbusters 2016.
Oh, I'm
Check
sorry.
out Midnight's
I'm sorry.
Edge.
Midnight's
I'm
Edge
so
did
sorry,
some
Mock.
amazing.
I wanted to make a correction. I want to make a correction. I said 1954. It's actually 1952.
Oh, okay.
1952. Yeah.
But yeah, it was the first. Those were the first videos I ever watched of Midnight's Edge. So yeah, it's a great kind of breakdown going to just the history of that absolute disaster. And this does not look like it's going to be a disaster, although it looked like it could. It looked like there are probably many ways that it probably could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And that's, everybody's talking about the Stranger Things vibe. And I can say that I'm coming in with a fresh set of eyes because I've never seen a minute of Stranger Things. Ever.
Same here.
I've never watched any of it.
Well, it's going to be hard for any show to avoid that, seeming like, oh, it kind of reminds me of Stranger Things because Stranger
it's
Things
in a
was
small town. You know.
Well,
what I
yeah,
mean?
but Stranger Things was also a combination of every '80s movie. They added so many references in Stranger Things that, I mean, it's bound to remind you of it because it itself was made to be a reminder of the '80s. So it's gonna have, it's
plus
it's kind of hard to avoid that.
One of the actors from Stranger Things in it. So yeah,
Finn Wolfhard, is that his name? Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah. They're gonna automatically say that regardless. But the thing is, you know what? That's a good thing because again, you have a throwback to good stuff, things that we liked. So
that's one of the shows I never watched. I kept hearing good things about it, but
it's pretty good. I mean, I overall I enjoy it. Overall, I enjoy it.
The vibe I got from the few episodes I've ever seen of Stranger Things, and by the way, just want to say thank you to the kind person that decided to tip $2. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for your support of this show.
Just don't hack us, Anonymous. Don't hack us.
Remember the 5th of November.
Oh man, but no, the vibe I got from seeing the episodes that I did of Stranger Things would very much, remember growing up as kids. If you're old enough to remember, like, kind of like the Nancy Drew stuff or the Hardy Boys stuff with
Troms remembers.
It kind of reminded me of something like the Hardy Boys mixed with like supernatural elements, and I enjoyed that about Stranger Things.
Did it give you a raging clue, Drew?
I'm getting such a raging clue right now, Tommy. Such a raging clue.
Well, I'll tell you what. Honestly, Tommy, that's a type of show, and this is why like there's not that many people until today, till it kind of brought out that vibe a little bit. They kind of tried to sweep Stranger Things under the rug to a degree, because it actually celebrated the culture that was, and not the culture that is trying to be pushed now. And that's why
what was one of the first things that they did, like in recent memory to that, is they took anything with even the insinuation of smoking out of it.
Yeah.
Like really, like smoking didn't exist in that time period at all. I mean, I remember walking in the malls, and you were allowed to smoke in the malls, and they had ashtrays outside all the stores. You couldn't smoke in the stores themselves, but you could walk throughout the entire mall area and you could smoke. So
yeah, exactly, dude. My God, they used to have huge the smoking
and non-smoking sections.
Yep, exactly. Man. That was
Makani, you're not old enough to remember when they didn't even have.
But I learned about it in school though, growing up.
One time it was like potluck whether or not you're going to sit next to a chain smoker or somebody with a big fat cigar sitting at a table in a restaurant.
Right.
Shane Nolan said, they used to let you smoke in the hospital.
Yeah, I remember when surgeons used to smoke as they were stitching you up. That's when back when men were men.
They used to smoke on planes. They used to smoke on airplanes.
Yep. Yeah, you could smoke on airplanes as well. Yeah, because they used to tell you, I believe, you could smoke as long as the smoking light was lit.
Smoking light was on.
Yep.
And then they had times when the smoking light was off and you couldn't. But hail the time prophet. Good to see you, my friend.
Hail time prophet.
I heard Nancy Pelosi said they're going to try to change history, and they're going to say that the smokers had special drinking fountains in bathrooms.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh God!
Have you seen the latest in that nonsense
with Skeletor?
No,
I saw that.
They're saying jogging is racist.
Oh, fuck off!
I ain't shitting. I seen that one. I started laughing my ass off.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, so Makani, being as you would be the representative for the black delegation on the panel, and this topic came up. I need you to be my Paul Mooney, and I'm going to ask a black dude.
Okay.
So if a great white shark attacks a black man swimming in the ocean, is that racist?
No.
Okay, thank you, and this has been Ask a Black Dude with Makani 90.
and let me ask something to final here. As a resident Californian, did you hear that they're banning gaming PCs apparently because of energy costs?
Oh yeah, I wanted to.
No, wait,
Hold on.
Okay,
I wanted to actually get into that, Makani, and I'm glad that you brought that.
What, are they going to go door to door and sir, may I see your permit for that machine?
I would love to see you take my HP helmet from my dead hands.
Sir, we're going to need you to turn that thing in. Sir, open up.
Okay, so here's a tweet. So here's a tweet essentially explaining it, and I'll go ahead.
Gavin Newsom wonders why he's up for recall.
I'm just saying right now.
I gotta hear this.
But
California does not represent the rest of humanity and the rest of the country. I'm saying that as a Californian, we do not represent. We with y'all.
Yeah.
All right,
This is
so
not-
go ahead, Makani, and just read off the
So,
blurb there.
okay, the new rules have been incoming since 2016 with the completion forecast for July 2021. California residents can read the compliance advisory for appliance efficiency regulation for computers and monitors here. Although California isn't the only state adopting these regulations, it's arguably the most surprising as the home of Silicon Valley. Despite PC and monitor combos can consume several times as much energy as all laptops, notebooks, and tablet computers. As a result, there's specific focus on new legislation. And although desktop builds aren't banned outright, the consumers won't be able to outfit them with all the highest end components.
Be sure to shit in the streets.
Mm-hmm. According to one Redditor, Dell refuses to deliver PCs containing a Ryzen 5800 CPU and a NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060, which I have a GeForce RX 3600, in fact, TI GPU in the future. As components presumably become even more power hungry, more potential builds can be taken off the table. Game consoles like Xbox Series X, PS5s are coming under fire, however, which could lead to an increase in adoption rates. So I reiterate what I said.
Wow.
You're gonna have to take my HP Omen from my cold dead hands.
Well, I mean,
I'm not giving that
this
up.
all goes back to their whole green theory,
Yep.
that, and that all these products that are consuming energy need to be taken off the market. And you're seeing people like that idiot horse-faced AOC leading this charge right now.
Of course she is.
With all the things going wrong in this country, she's leading the charge against shit that consumes too much energy. She's
Isn't
leading
she
charges.
So isn't she stream gaming and stuff?
Yeah, but come on,
Wait, she's a
these people are
hypocrite.
so hypocritical.
Well,
She's also leading the charge against police and prison institutions. Which, you know what? Do they need some reform, like prisons?
They need reform, but they don't need.
They definitely need reform. But she wants them to be abolished, while crime rates throughout the country are soaring.
Exactly.
Well, you know what's funny about this, and I'm glad that you brought up the fact that she's a Twitch thought now, because she can go live on Twitch anytime she wants with her whatever Uber setup, which I'm sure that she has, like the best of everything, because those people don't deny themselves anything. But this is a prime example of the whole attitude of rules for thee, but not for me type of thing that you always see in common with these types of restrictions. And what do the people do that are putting down these restrictions? Well, they live in excess while they limit you. And see, that is the major problem here.
And you know what? Just watch what happens when those rules apply to across the country, and see how she thinks once it happens in New York. Just go ahead.
She won't follow it. The thing is, she won't follow it.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
It won't apply to them.
It won't
apply to her.
Did you see Rita? Did you see Rita Doherty's comment? I also heard that because of the power shortage in California right now, that people are encouraged not to charge their electric cars. The same car that they've been pushing so hard because of all the smug.
Yeah, and this is good.
Well, that's probably trying to get back at Elon.
There's someone to get all gasoline cars and done completely eliminated from California. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah,
Good luck with
I
that.
guarantee that's a little strike at Elon because he decided to leave California to go to Texas with Tesla.
Yeah.
So that's probably their way. Oh, you're going to leave us? Fine. No one's charging your Tesla in California.
Well, do you guys remember when AOC was talking about, you people got to get rid of your big cars, your trucks, your SUVs? And then right after she made that speech, she jumped into her stretch SUV to leave. Like, really?
Really? People, dude.
Well,
hold on. Did you see the other shit that's been going on too? Jen Psaki, they questioned her about the jab and how many people in the White House got the jab. She refused to answer.
Of course
None of
she
your
does.
business. These people are fucking monsters.
But they're coming to knock door to door to find out if you had yours.
Exactly.
You
Well,
can't ask if they're there.
Don't
Vinny,
forget-
Vinny, we'll have to circle back to that, Vinny. We'll have to
We'll
circle
circle
back to that.
Dude,
Kids,
don't-
kids, I don't see what the problem is. I got the jab, and we gave Adam the jab in the show too.
Listen, guys, first
Yeah,
of all,
sorry.
Alex Show's coming back. Well, listen, what really happened? Again, they let Cuomo go. They dropped everything on these people. They are out and about. This is sick. Did you hear what the fuck happened? Cuomo is literally he's saying our new mission. What our mission is, we're gonna go knocking door to door, and we're gonna convince people. We're gonna put them in cars and make them get the jab. That's what they're doing in New York now.
Put them in cars. So that's kids. So he's announcing they're going to kidnap people from their homes.
That's-
put 'em in
that's
a
called-
car.
That's kidnapping. That's illegal.
Kidnapping.
No.
Well,
There's a word.
They're
I feel
gonna
like there's a
kidnap them.
word
They're
here
demented.
that I feel like there's a word here I'm looking for. It's kind of authoritarian, don't you think?
Well, here's the issue with that, and you know, no jokes aside about Alex Jones. I mean, the guy called this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's crazy because now you're starting to see, all right, with just what nice Egypt. Yes, hail, comrade.
Look, all I'm saying is, comrades, you keep using these words like mine and I. You should just get used to saying we and ours, comrade. Now, if you will excuse me, you should all be peeling potatoes. We have a lot of vodka to make.
I am not making your borscht for you.
Look, I don't eat beets anymore. Seriously, does not agree with stomach. But I will take some more of whatever you have on your plate because that's ours. Ha ha!
Listen, I'd rather drink vodka all day long than water.
Get
We
it?
know
Look,
we know what happens
look.
with water.
Don't make me start. Don't make me start on abortion jokes. They really bring out the kid in me. Oh, it's bad. It's
Hold on a
bad.
second.
It's bad.
I thought you guys like defending and representing and pumping up marginalized communities. Does that count as well? I'm just wondering. Just a
Well,
thought.
I don't know. It seems like that whole walkout with Blizzard is
Jesus
they're-
Christ.
They're trying, you know, Makini, you are the king of segues today, by the way.
Sorry.
Because you keep bringing up like all the good topics. But
Well, you know what, Drew? I mean, this is one of those things that's actually been stirring for an awfully long time because I remember in 2019 when this shit started with the whole Blitzchung mess. And that
and
was
the
right
thing
around the
is
same
that-
time that I quit playing WoW because of the
Well,
ridiculous
well, you
stances
were-
on some of the
and
shit.
the thing
remember,
is- right.
remember, Tommy? I did an article on Blitzchung and the whole thing with him calling out, you know, with him saying "Free Hong Kong" and them just nailing him to the wall for simply making a comment about freeing people.
Well, I mean, yeah, but here's the problem. I think a lot of people miss. It's really not Blizzard itself. You know, the original Blizzard company. Even though the original Blizzard company is long dead and buried because of Activision. It was Activision that came in and started not only destroying all the franchises, they're the ones that started implementing all these stupid ass rules. And it continued on after the Blitzchung thing, and they pissed off the whole community base even further by when they released Warcraft 3 remastered or reforged. And when they released that, there was all kinds of issues with the game to the point where people couldn't even play the damn thing. So they were looking to get their money back, which is understandable. If you can't play it, why should I have paid for it? Let me get my money back. And Blizzard was pretty much under Activision telling them, oh, well, tough shit. No, we're not going to give you refunds.
And the thing is that
ridiculous.
And the thing is that, and I want to bring up a couple things about this. So from what I've been listening to Bellier News, Bellier Gaming's big World of Warcraft, former World of Warcraft's YouTuber gaming channel, and he's covered that, you know, a lot of what's been going on, especially with these lawsuits, this work culture, this has possibly been happening even during the old classic Blizzard under Mike Morhaime. So there's a possibility that it's been this whole, I think he coined it, this whole, what was it, drugs, sex, and rock and roll kind of mentality that's been going on in the workplace has been going on since the classic era Blizzard. So there's probably a lot more shit going on. And on top of that, with Warcraft 3 Reforged, it's so bad now that they have to stop. Like whoever the development team behind Reforged, they have to stop updating now. It's so bad.
Well, the problem I have with this, and the quartering explained it pretty well today, in Shellback, I'll get to your comment here in a second because that's very concerning. But the quartering explained it pretty good today when he said, all right, I can understand if the employees have grievances when it comes to, the environment in the workplace, if it has kind of turned into that. That's one thing. But see, the statements now coming out from the people that seem to have taken charge of this, quote, protest or walkout or soft strike, if you want to call it that. Okay, they're using the typical woke talking points and they're doing themselves a disservice when, people want to point out that, hey, our workplace has some serious issues. As soon as they brought that up, it got hijacked by the activists that pushed them out of the way and said, okay, well, we need a diversity and inclusion department, and we need equal pay scale for trans and minority and
the way I see it, Drew, is that it's that going that method isn't going to work because this has been Blizzard ever since, even before the BlizzCon situation, has always been one of the shining examples next to Disney of corporate virtue signaling.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so it's going to implode. You're trying to give it to. You're trying to pull this on a company who already virtue signals and does that stuff. That's not going to make it any better.
Well, no, they're shooting themselves in the foot
exactly
by going the oppression Olympics route. And it's just absolutely going to backfire for them.
Well, I mean, the ridiculous with Blizzard and everything they've been pushing, you got to remember that this has been going on for so long. Like I talked about back in 2019, they not only lost thousands of consumers, they lost millions of consumers. Just let that sink in for a minute. How do you go from a company that's got like what at one point they had like over 1 billion consumers for their products through Blizzard? And it's just steadily declined ever since Activision took over.
More and more of what's been going on, and I think it really is starting to surface. Like let's dial it back to a couple years ago. There was that big report that I think it was over 300,000 employees at Activision Blizzard were laid off, but at the same time, Bobby Kotick got a huge, I think it was a $5 million raise.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous amount of money.
You count on the CEOs to give themselves raises and golden parachutes all the time.
Well, no, he was talking about leaving at one point. And they gave him a bonus, this big bonus to stay because they paid him more money and then they gave him a bonus over top of it. Then they said, "Oh, we're laying all these people off," but it doesn't have nothing to do with the money we're giving him. Bullshit.
I want to, gentlemen, I want to tackle Shellback's comment real quick here because this is super concerning. When it comes to speaking of the jab, he said, "I got something from the VA." It was the messaging in it was playing on his sense of duty, urging him to get the jab. And this is a problem. This is a serious problem because what our governments, and this is an around the world problem, folks. So no matter where you are watching this broadcast right now, understand all of your governments around the world, including ours here in the United States, they are giving us this messaging that, we're asking you nicely to get the jab. Now it's moved to we're strongly suggesting you get the jab. Pretty soon, it's going to be like, we're not asking anymore. We're going to detain you if you don't get the jab. And It's a progressive sort of ramp up to full on authoritarianism, which is happening, by the way, around the entire globe right now. All of what you see happening, you pick a country almost, and there's mass demonstrations right now against restrictions. Okay. And this is because it's becoming increasingly authoritarian.
They had the biggest ones over there just recently in Australia,
and a lot of it dealt with a passport.
And I have a couple friends that are over in the UK, and they said that people are fed up with it over there as well, and they're starting to rebuke the government and their ridiculousness.
And Dwayne
had the largest protest they've ever had on this past Saturday.
Right.
And there's no coverage anywhere. France burnt down 3 facilities that make the jab. They burnt it down to the ground.
Yeah,
Italy. The cops were protesting and promoting with all the fans.
Yes,
okay?
they did.
There's a lot going on.
But Vinny, that was peaceful protest. Those
Mac, here's the fucking kicker. Here's the kicker. This is why they're pushing the January 6th bullshit right now all over the news to hide what's really going on in the world.
Well, it's also to make an example, Vinny. They want to take January 6th, and I hate to always go back to that card where I'm like, yeah, I was there, I know what happened. But listen, I was there. I do know what happened. I saw it with my own 2 eyes, folks. And there is no way that what they have portrayed to you in the media, that January 6th turned on a dime like it did without help. And it's come out subsequently. And we've seen time and again. You could go over the Whitmer plot. You could go over anything that you want, where there are increasingly 3-letter agencies involved on the ground, coordinating these operations, involved actively, and they're trying to egg people on to do things and then subsequently charge people saying, well, you did that. But in reality, they egged people on to do it so that they can make scapegoats of the people. And that is exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to demonize you for thinking differently than the narrative and actually criminalize you now for standing up for your own rights as a human.
God, I love that comment in the chat. Time to revive Bastille Day.
Well, Tommy, I don't want it to come to this. I don't want it to come to this because in our nature as human
no one
beings,
does.
In our nature as human beings, we really are pretty peaceful people for the most part. Unless
I don't know. Speak for yourself. I'm a guinea pig, and I certainly wouldn't mind seeing the guillotine brought back. Just saying.
Well, he's going to be nibbling on a lot of toes, is what he's saying.
Well, no. I mean, if we're being honest, so we're pretty peaceful people. Other than the fact, unless you're a raging psychopath and you enjoy murder, pretty much.
Hey kids, did you call for me? Raging psychopath that likes to kill people? I'm gonna destroy your childhood again.
I just.
Wait a minute, you're not Carnage.
You're never Carnage. Infowars.com. We got the footage. We got everything.
Yeah, but the thing is they want to essentially have it to where there's a violent response. I think what they're really pushing at with all the restrictions, everything else, they're waiting till the powder keg goes boom and there's a violent response back at them, because all of these governments across the world are pushing for one thing. They want to instill martial law, and then what happens after that, folks, because at that point is when you start to get the United Nations involved, and then you get more of the sort of start of assimilating each country and taking.
Whoa! Watch that whole assimilating thing, buddy.
Well, I'm just saying, but Tommy, that's the truth.
That's my job. That's not theirs.
I know, but when the United Nations gets involved, that's the truth, because it starts to take away the identity of the nation state, and that's exactly what they want. They don't want us to have identities as nations. They don't want us to have national pride. They don't want us to have, strong militaries to defend ourselves. They essentially want to get to the point where the population is culled and reduced to that manageable number. And think back to the Georgia Guidestones, folks. If you don't know what those are, look them up on Google. Very interesting about the Georgia Guidestones.
I think brutal Morningwood left something for Final Death Star there in the chat. What's coming next, Final?
Oh, let me see. Well, yeah, I'll give you a jab. Man, that's the if that happens, we're all doomed. End of the end.
It's the end game.
Yeah, that's the end game right there.
Yeah, next thing you know, you wake up and Bigfoot standing over you, giving you the jab in the middle of the night. No.
That mark's got the number 6 3 times across it, if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
if you already have the jab, they'll probably force it to you to take it again.
Well, Rita's got another point here. I just worry the jab is a gargantuan experiment, and she has a point, because if you think about it, okay, you could really make that connection, given the fact that we still have not factually been told every single ingredient that is in the vaccine.
Well, you know what, Drew? Even more than that, they've lied about it from the very jump. Because when they first started pushing this whole nonsense, they said you're going to only need to get 1 shot. And then it became, you're going to need 2 shots. And now it's, you're probably going to need boosters every year. And now it's become, you might have to get boosters every 6 months. And it's never going to end, because there's always going to be a new variant, because it's nothing else but just like the flu. It's going to keep coming back every single year in another form. So every single, 6 months to every year, they're going to be telling people, you need to keep getting boosters. You're going to need to keep getting boosters. And they're not telling you what they're giving you, and they're not going to give you a choice.
What you have to do is do the research on it, because it proves what the jab does to the body, and it destroys the immune system. That's why you're going to be reliant on these things.
Yeah, because
it's also why there's so many people that have gotten the jab that end up getting sick. And they're trying to push this narrative right now. I mean, we were actually looking at this all morning. This whole narrative that the unjabbed are the ones responsible because they're spreading it, and the jabbed are getting it even though they're jabbed, and then they're giving it to other people who are also jabbed, but it's all so it's like logic's out the window. Somehow it's all stemming from the unjabbed, even though, well, if you're jabbed, first of all, that means the jab isn't working. If you're getting it, it's not working like they sold it to you as, and then you're still passing it on, so you're susceptible and you're still transmitting it. Then what's the difference? Well, what's the point of it?
What was the point of getting the jab in the first place?
And even if they say, well, if everyone got jabbed, then they'd stop spraying it, so it would just go away. But that's not how it works. If it's out there and the people that are jabbed are still transmitting it, it doesn't matter. Everyone could be jabbed, and it's still going to be transmitting it. Plus, they're trying to push the narrative that the unjabbed are the ones who are causing it to mutate, which again doesn't make sense. A thief doesn't. If the door is open, the front door, a thief goes in the front door. If it has an alarm system, the jab, then it's going to find another way in. It's going to go through the window. It's going to mutate. It's not the unjabbed who are causing mutations. It's the jabbed.
Yeah, and that's what they said. That's what the hospitals are filled with. The ones who are getting it. But guess what? They're lying about everything right now.
I won't tell you that, though.
Well, there's people I know of and family members as well in the medical field. They said that the COVID unit is empty. Is fucking empty. The ones who are trickling in are people who got double shots.
Well, Tehillim is right, because in one of the, if I remember correctly, in one of the vaccines, it was, I know it did have some of the elements of the HIV virus in there, and we know from past experience, because of seeing the effects of what HIV does to people. That it affects the immune system, So should tell you right there. This is going to have.
They're making zombies. This is Umbrella Corporation 2.0, real life. This is bio weapon engineering. We know it. We know it. We know it.
Well, this is going to have This is going to have an adverse effect on your immune system in the first place, which is what you were alluding to, Vinny. And the thing is, they are trying to treat the unvaccinated, just like Final said, as lepers, and they're trying to turn people. They're trying to make it, dehumanize an entire group of the population and say, essentially calling unvaccinated people subhuman and no regard for anyone else. And
it's
when
still about the divide. This is what they
It's
want.
all about divide.
This is
It's all about divide.
Yeah, because
Oh,
people. No, go ahead, Leechep. Just let me finish, and then I'll let you go. I just was going to say, what their ultimate goal is by demonizing people like that is eventually to make it so that you say, well, I'm vaxxed. I'm cool with those unvaccinated people dying. They don't matter. They want you to get that line of thinking in your head, so then it's okay to lock people away, to even at the most extreme, to just arbitrarily kill people if they want.
And the thing is, I'm not okay with that. And this is coming from somebody who got the shot, and I did get the shot. I did get the shot twice, mainly because I realized, because I come to a realization that it's probably going to be the only way I can be able to actually go back to work, or actually be allowed to go back to work. So
right.
I was going to have to take it regardless, one or another. And two, I do believe that, it's not just people who are probably the most unhealthy, but the people who are probably in the more obese are probably subsequent to a higher risk of it. So I might as well. And I'm trying to lose weight as a just in case now. But I would never, and I know a lot of these, and I know everybody on this panel, a lot of people in the chat, everybody hanging out with it, not everybody's going along with it. So no, I'm very much against the idea of demonizing people who aren't vaxxed. I'm like, they have a choice and they have a good reason to. Everybody has a reason to want to take the jab or not.
That's
have a good night, Shane Nolan.
Yeah, take care, Shane Nolan.
Good night, Shane. Well, McKinney, you made a great point. It's like, what happened to your body, your choice. It's only when it applies to abortion, but when it comes to vaxxed, it's not. And they might make the argument, oh, well, this is because you're putting the public at risk, where abortion, what, you're not putting anyone at risk?
How?
Go ahead, finish that statement. It's like, finish it.
I'm asking the question, how?
Yeah, exactly. You can't. They use that argument, but you can't use that argument because they don't consider life. It's all the conception, the moment of conception, when does life start. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, McKinney, in California, if you go and take a condor, a condor is a bird. It's a very rare bird here, and they're limited in numbers. And it is illegal to take an egg of a condor. You can't go and take the egg. That's illegal. You will be fined, and possible prison time, whatever. But why is that?
For breakfast in my omelet.
Because it is endangered. Because
it's endangered, and because they know that there is life in the egg.
Exactly.
There's life in there. It hasn't hatched yet. It doesn't have to hatch yet. They know there's life in there. So you turn that, or you use that same argument, for abortion, say, and well, they don't really have anything to say.
Yeah, but to be fair,
they just shriek about it.
They use that unborn egg thing as an excuse for CRT.
Yeah, well, that's yeah. I mean, there's deeper agenda to it for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't trust the media, man.
Plenty of
media is dividing.
No, this whole thing, this whole situation, it's kind of funny because remember, hey kids, let's think back. Remember when Gina Carano got fired for posting a meme that spoke about pitting neighbor against neighbor like another country? Isn't that kind of coming to fruition now? In Disney, think about that. Family-run Disney fired her, and
she was right.
And she was absolutely right. It's just Gina was right. She was 100% right. But this, we have to remember that this is basically what's happening right now. The government is sitting back and saying all these unvaccinated U.S. citizens are the problem. And out of the other side of their mouth, also the government, the U.S. government in particular, is saying, well, we must continue to allow unvaccinated, undocumented illegal immigrants through the southern border, or else it's racism. So,
it's like you're trying to have your cake and eat it too, and it's going to backfire.
Well,
It's going to backfire eventually.
Well, you also had Fauci. Oh, go ahead, Vinny. No, go ahead, Vinny.
I was going to say, because more proof of this is also like what happened with the January 6th thing with Rand Paul. So they're attacking and they've been arresting everyone who's been involved in this, right? Except for the people who attacked and tried to kill Rand Paul and his wife. What is Rand Paul doing? He put criminal charges against Fauci because he put him on the spot. He ripped him to shreds, and he proved that this son of a bitch, and he has paperwork proving it, that he was involved in Wuhan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, you know, I think it's funny you guys bring up the whole Gina Carano thing again, and it's so hilarious that, you know, she got fired, but guess what, kids? They didn't fire KK. Because just like me, she wants to destroy your childhood.
Well, they
Pascal.
They don't.
Yep. Oh yeah, he was way worse.
They don't like anyone. They don't like anyone, any celebrity, anybody with a rather large platform, you know, even an athlete for that matter, to go off the reservation and be able to start, you know, telling some hard truths, because you know that works directly against them. And the more people that wake up, see, they can't indoctrinate you. And what they're trying to do right now is indoctrinate everyone, because
sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, this whole thing, the whole game is never going to change. Number one, the pharmaceutical companies are making money hand over fist, because think about it. They fund the original problem, which is COVID-19, and then they come out with the quote solution, which they double dip and make money off both.
Of course.
So, I mean, you know, you've got billionaires making money hand over fist in big pharma. You've got exactly what Rita said. People like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
I was about to address that.
And
No.
it's just you guys can see all the pieces in play. You can see the chessboard, and what they're doing is eventually, and this is why I'm leading into the UN thing, because what they're going to do is play that game with restrictions. They're going to tighten them down when there's public pushback. They're going to relax them. Then they're going to tighten them back down, because they're going to keep justifying variants and just going through the alphabet.
They're doing the 2 steps forward, 1 step back, you know, but even that is still taking a step forward each time.
Exactly.
So they try to push it, they get resistance, let's take a step back. But keep what they, keep a certain amount of what they push, and then they go 2 steps further, get resistance, go backwards, but they're still ahead of where they just were. You know, it's that they're playing that game, the long game.
It's a bigger game that they're doing to all of us, because again, what Rita brought up with Gates. If we want real talk, Bobby Kennedy Jr., he's having a lawsuit right now against a bunch of people, and in D.C. for what they're doing. They're also giving these kids shots in schools without parent consent, and especially in the schools that are religious ones, that they don't believe in it because there's some stem cells that were used in the making of these quote-unquote shot. So there's a lot going on, but he also... Kennedy Jr. He also said what he saw firsthand, that Gates invited Fauci 20 years ago to his home, and they cut this fucking deal together. That he was going to distribute it. They were going to work together on this. Gates also has a seat in the UN. Why does he have a seat in the UN? Is he a country?
Well,
to himself, maybe. I mean, but if you look at it in a way, it kind of rings true to like the old stories you had, if you believe in them, that the mark of the beast. And what could the beast be? The beast might very well be this wild virus that's been let out.
Well, if you think about if you think about this, if you connect the dots, as Alex Jones would say, God, I need the Alex Jones avatar myself because right now I just feel like saying,
Let me know, brother. What's the topic? I'll give
the
you.
globalists, folks, globalists, they know that you're ready to go out and shoot your neighbor. All right, they know that. So what it is, you got David Rockefeller, you got the Trilateral Commission, you got all of them.
Preach it.
Just wait.
And you know what? And the thing is that you brought up earlier, Drew, and that's what I do smile a little bit when I see and because I've been following the sports stuff. I've been following the sports world recently, and I'm seeing a lot more like older athletes, retired athletes come out and speak out against this stuff because it is absolute bullshit. It's like recently we saw one of the, I forget what his name was, one of the best running backs, one of the greatest running backs in the NFL, come out and say that like, no, this is the whole, Black national anthem. That's a slippery slope, that leads to divide. We see more people, speak out. We see it. I feel like a lot of what's going on right now, you can see proof of it falling apart when you look at how we're doing in the Olympics right now.
Oh, it's
Makini, you also had Charles Barkley starting to speak out against the wider part of the agenda,
and he's not backing down. I have so much respect for him for that.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, and Makini, you hit on it, but let's. I mean, you want to
look at this. Look at this. We had an NFL. We had a. I think it was a head coach of the Minnesota Vikings fired for not taking the shot.
Yep.
For not taking the jab.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, you want to get real.
Minnesota. It's not surprising.
You want to get real upon real, and right now, look. If you want to come arrest me, FBI, for what I'm going to say, come do it. All right, but look, plain and simple. This is entirely socially engineered. It is a plan to divide and conquer, and people are starting to see the reality of the fact that they don't care what community that they destroy along the way because they're definitely using the minority communities. They're using the Asian community. They're using the Black community. They're using the Latino community as props to propagate this destructive race type of theory and get people to hate one another. Because think about it, all the organic progress that we made through the civil rights movement, through everything, there's a reason why these people don't want you to pay attention to the comments of greats like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King,
Alex
people
Jones.
like that. They don't want you to pay attention to that stuff because what is happening is they want to rewrite their own history. In their eyes, the quicker that middle-aged folks, probably like the 30-somethings that are waking up, they can't wait for us to die because what they really want to do is get their hands on the young kids. And that's why our young kids right now are being targeted so much, and they're being bombarded on every front. They're being bombarded with educating them about trans and educating them about, race and this and that, because they're trying to twist the minds of the young people in order to weaponize them.
But you know what? To take a quote from Star Wars, the more that you tighten your grip, the more people will slip through your fingers. Because eventually there will be blowback.
And unfortunately though, for them, it's not going to work because even the younger generation, the kids will pick up on it. Even if their parents don't tell them, even if their parents don't tell them, they'll pick up on it sooner or later.
Etep's been quiet. I know he's been chomping at the bit to chime in. So the floor is yours, my friend.
No, you're fine, man. I'm just listening to this. This whole I'll use air quotes when I say pandemic, has really showed me a lot about the nature of people. When you know it's a stressor, is, you know, it's like this push has been on for such a long time for the globalization and desovereigntizing. I'm making up words now. Desovereigntizing. No, you know, taking away and stripping. You know, like I said, they're making national identity. You know, believing in your country. Nationalism is now considered to be, you know, racist and bigoted. You know, so they're doing all these.
It's also, you're also considered a terrorist now.
Yeah, all these little things, all these little things to strip away our individualism and make us all part of the hive mind. And yeah, this jab is like this is the like basically their end game with it. It's like, okay, so this is the jumping off point right here. So yeah, now demonize people, and I see it in my, like I said, I'm in Michigan, and I love it. I love being told by people from, you know, Wayne and Oakland County that I'm just some dumb country bumpkin because I don't live in Detroit or Lansing or Flint or Grand Rapids, that, you know, I should just, you know, shut up because I'm a dumb redneck and I'm not educated or anything like that.
E-tip, if you're a redneck, how's your cousin?
Excellent, trust me.
Listen, this transmission.
You've got rednecks confused with hillbillies, I think.
You got him confused with Florida. We know that.
No,
listen,
I said Michigan, not Alabama.
Yeah, but you know, but I wanted to make a point though, ETEP. You know, I think it's funny how they downplayed it so much in mainstream media when they blew the Whitmer thing wide open. Of just how just blatantly the FBI was involved, because it was a clear case of entrapment.
It was entrapment all day. They use that the UCI, and it was textbook entrapment. And if they get away with that legally, that sets another very dangerous precedent on just what you can do to U.S. citizens as a means to an end when it comes to controlling the populace that won't fall in line in lockstep with you. And Whitmer is been kind of quiet. She said she's not adding any more mask mandates or anything. And it's been funny because, well, she's in a lot of trouble for the same thing Cuomo was in New York for the nursing home stuff. You know, that's not just gonna go away. You know, there's a lot of elderly people who, you know, died because of her stuffing COVID patients in nursing homes. And they did that to my mom. My mom didn't have COVID. My mom has really severe COPD, and you know, she's beat cancer 3 times. She got pneumonia at the start of all this, and they wouldn't even let my dad like go in the room with her. They're like, "Oh, you know," and he's like, "It's my wife. I don't give a fuck," you know, and that whole thing. And then in the middle of the night, they put her in a fucking COVID unit.
Well, you know what,
wow, almost like they were hoping that she would get it, right? It was intentionally,
yeah.
Let's put the weak in
hospitals
compromised.
The hospitals get a fucking federal stipend of $50,000 the last I heard per COVID patient. 53, so 53,000 per fucking person. So why do you think when somebody gets hit by a bus, a building falls on them, they get hit by a meteor and shot 7 times, oh, they died of COVID?
Well, you know, it's funny when you mention your mother like that. That, you know, everybody knows about the problem I'm going through with my brother. You know, being in a nursing home up there, and I'm trying to get him transferred down here to Florida. They wound up giving him both jabs, and after he had both jabs, he suddenly came up with COVID, and he was in lockdown for over 2 weeks. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, oh, great. Here goes the last person in my immediate family that may wind up dying because of this freaking COVID like nonsense with the freaking shot.
Wow.
You know, and I really that really played on me for a while. I mean, luckily he did pull through, but yeah, I mean, it could have easily went sideways, you know.
Did he give authorization for that himself?
No, the nursing home just forced it on him. Yeah. Well, because this was before I got, my power of attorney and everything was taken care of. And I had authority to make those decisions. They turned around and made the decision for him.
Jeez.
Oof. That's a violation. I mean, you can't do, because who had power of attorney before that, Tommy, before you got it?
Well, before I got it, apparently my dad had given authorization to the nursing home to take care of him. So I don't know if he just gave them complete authority over him or what, because my father was too old to really take care of that stuff anyway. So,
God, see,
that's sad.
I really, I'm sitting here and Rita's asking questions, and I just want to blow this whole thing out of the water, because I can take it all the way back and point out the little things over the decades that have led up to this, that have opened the door to this. Because I mean, this has gone.
Yeah, that's a loaded question with a very expansive answer, Rita.
This has gone back.
In short, yes.
This has gone back decades upon decades, and I want to tie in the assassination of JFK and all this, because I do believe at the time, and this is why I've always thought that the feds knocked him off, was because he was going to expose not only the crooked three-letter organizations, he was also going to start exposing the globalists for who they were.
Yeah.
And that is why he got whacked. It was not the mafia. Yes, the mafia were plenty mad at him, and they did have contracts out on his family, but guess what? It was the feds all along. Mm-hmm. And he
has that speech, famous speech where he talked about it all, about exposing these secret organizations,
secret society.
Well, Kennedy's dad pissed off the mob because they had his dad was a bootlegger, and then when JFK got in office, he kind of gave them the high hard one, was like, well, I'm above you now, and he pissed some of them off too. So they had heat.
I like this panel. I think I'm going to hire you all as correspondents.
That whole Soros question. Yeah, that guy has basically had his disgusting hands in
Soros
everything.
Is pure evil.
All of that.
He's if anybody uses the adrenochrome, I swear to God, it's him. He looks like the Emperor, in real life.
He does, dude.
He is.
In his eyes.
That man is just he's like, there's no soul there. Like, he sold his soul a long time ago to live this long and be part of the disgusting things that he's been a part of.
Are we gonna blow up the hierarchy now, guys? Are we just gonna tell it all? Because look, if we're gonna put it on the table, all right.
I'm here, brother.
Up here around the top, you got David Rockefeller, okay? Mm-hmm. Then you move on down, because that's where all the old money is. Rockefeller, you got the Rothschilds, people like that. Then you move it on down to Gates, people like that, the eugenicist wing. And then you move it on down to the people like Soros that are funding, that are literally funding the destabilization efforts by setting up these quote organizations like BLM, like some of the other ones that you see, like Media Matters, to sort of protect the media from any criticism, and so that they can spit out a one-sided narrative. And he funds just about every major activist organization in the United States when it comes to anything that has to do with race or there's even evidence that he's helped fund Antifa. So it's not he's definitely involved, Rita. But the thing is, this whole thing is like a pyramid, and it goes from the top on down. and it's very sinister what's happening
It's
because
cyber warfare. It's bioengineering. It's all this stuff. It's all mixed together. We know this. These sons of bitches, they're ruling everything, and they want to destroy the middle class. So it's going to be just like Vinny's book, City Venus. It's going to be a hierarchy of the rich elite separating themselves from the poor.
it's the whole thing with a class war. Because essentially we're headed towards cyberpunk 2077, where it's like if you're not a corpo, you're screwed.
Well, there's, I mean, how many times have we seen, we know that they love to show stuff in movies and films before it happens, or like to get people used to it. But we've seen the movie Elysium had that idea. What was the movie with or the TV show that was kind of like Blade Runner that just came out where they implanted a chip in the neck and like they called it the body's sleeves and the upper class would Altered Carbon that just came out. Same idea. Altered Carbon.
Equilibrium.
Hunger Games, Equilibrium. There's all these games of a class warfare.
Yeah, to heal him. Yeah, but see though, he's like third tier because on top of that, don't forget, we were talking about at the very top you've got the old money families, but you go down right underneath that is Gates, because right now he's kind of running the show with the whole eugenics type of thing, because that is exactly what's going on. That's the whole thing, the vehicle that's driving their essentially their whole rollout of the Great Reset right now is the whole COVID program. Gates has had been up to his neck in that. Of course we know Fauci's compromised. I have the Fauci emails. I've gone through them. And it's clear when you read those that he's 100% compromised. He not only stood to gain financially from this, but he also, was in on it from all the way back, goes back through the Obama administration, and don't forget, coincidence, I think not, that Fauci was involved the first time around in the 80s with the HIV epidemic. So, I mean, there's a whole lot at play, folks. And
that's why they said people were getting tested for COVID. They were also coming up with HIV because it's the same delivery system that he fucking perfected, and that's what he put in here as well.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important right now to take a stand and stand up for the fact that you have a right to your own medical decisions. You have a right to exist. You have a right to the individual freedoms according to whatever your particular country's charter or constitution or law or founding law may be. You have basic rights.
Yep. And,
don't allow them to take that away. Don't allow them to take away your individuality, because our individuality is important. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us creative. This whole panel, that's what makes all of us unique. And I urge you folks, and I don't urge anybody to be violent or anything else, but take a stand in every non-violent way possible until that is the last resort. And hopefully it doesn't come to that. Absolutely. I hope that all of this will come to light and there'll be some brave people in independent media that expose the whole kit and caboodle, and that the world sees it.
Absolutely. Hey guys, I'm sorry, I don't mean to just kind of cut and run, but I do got to get going right now. So,
Vinny, before you do, I'm gonna go around because boy, we got in an uber serious discussion. We were hitting on the topics, and then Machini just he just segued us, bam, 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 into
it wasn't intentional.
He just segued us into like real life. But hey, listen, that's the beauty of this stream as opposed to some of the different ones, because here at Rogue Entertainment, we offer you guys a variety. We have a lot of great creators under this umbrella. We got Etep, who's always, on something awesome. He's got good character skills. He covers the whole kit and caboodle. We got Enter the Unfamiliar, where we go every Sunday night and we talk about the paranormal and the other things on the other side of the veil. And then we've got, of course, the ultimate in creativity with people such as Vinny and Makini. And we got Tommy, who takes us through the things that we love in our childhoods, and shows us that you still can find those treasures. And that's why I'm so proud to call these gentlemen friends. I'm so proud to call these gentlemen colleagues. And with that, I am going to go around and let these guys say a little bit about themselves, and we're going to get on out of here, folks, because like Vinny said, I got to run too. I got to get my mom's medication here in a few minutes. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with our boy Etep, the People's Champ.
Here I am at the deck of the Orville. Big shout out to my man PJ at Orville Nation, where you can find me Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. talking about the Orville. That's right. Tomorrow night, joining me and Tony Tone Deaf it's a surprise. I have no idea who's joining us yet. Actually, I do. I've got a couple. We got a couple guests lined up for tomorrow night on Going Rogue over on my channel, 8:30 Eastern. I have some more videos. I haven't got one out this week yet, but been really busy with real life stuff. I got a 6-year-old that's home all day with me, so yeah, I got busy playing with the Masters of the Universe toys this morning. You can't help getting the vintage Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain out, right? But no, I do. I got a few reviews planned and some more stuff. I'm gonna get my Masters of the Universe series first half review done, wrapped up probably tomorrow. I've been working on it off and on. Man, that was a gut punch. Oof. But we'll talk about that later. So yeah, Thursday morning, mornings at the Place to Be Reviews, 9:30 Eastern until about 11. Do the morning show, and yeah, that's about it. I've got to postpone the stream for Friday night this week, as I have some family coming into town. We had the last tribute stream we're going to do for Groovinator. We're going to do a watch party. I'm going to have to put that off by a week, so we'll reorganize that and reconvene that next Friday. Drew, thanks for having me on panel. It has been wonderful, and actually, yeah, getting to talk some regular, like, real life serious stuff, and Makini being like the Segway beast tonight. Like, he was like the Tim Hardaway of Segways. It was like anytime you need an assist, Mock's like serving him up, So thank you, everybody. This chat was awesome. You guys rock. Another monster. Hashtag that's just a car. Well. There you go. There's some Grace Randolph for you. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
All right. And we'll go over to our dude, Vinny Art, a.k.a. Alex Jones, a.k.a. the Harrison.
Yeah, hey guys. Thanks so much. Yeah, I know we jumped all over the place. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff that we should be more aware of. And yeah, do your research. That's what I'll say. Look into the stuff you need to look into, but also be safe. We're not just here to spout off. We're here to also help one another. That's why I love everyone on this panel as well. Everyone in chat. You guys all rock. Be sure to jump over on my channel as well, Vinny Art. I do streams now on Fridays and Sundays. Sundays are usually the longer kind of chill streams where we go all over the place. Fridays are going to be a little bit more like promotion, things of that nature. I might do every other week the toy stuff on there as well on Fridays. At least until Tommy's situated and stuff too, and then we're going to be doing a show together, which should be a lot of fun. But yes, continue to support these projects. Shout out to Kraken. That's my newest one. I'm working very, very hard on this one. Currently, every time I'm on stream, if I don't have a camera on, that means I'm working on these pages. Again, my heart and soul's going into my projects. We give you real entertainment, not piss poor shit.
And in Shadow of the Kraken, you actually give them real history.
That's right. You're going to get historical aspects for sure. Characters and people from history are going to be in here. It also does have a supernatural twist. We cover a lot of things, everything that kind of went down in the 1700s in the Caribbean. I'll even show how it kind of starts as well. A lot of people a little bit unaware of that. But yeah, it's a damn good book. And like I said, it's the start of another series. This is going to be 50 pages, perfect bound. After this one is done and fulfilled, I'm jumping back to City of Venus 2. That's a little bit more in line in what we were talking about today. But also, before I go, I want to make sure everybody remember this transmission was very important. It was brought to you by Drew. Tip him. He's a good guy. He deserves it. That's how we stay in the air. We have to keep fighting this war. That's the best way to do it. So stay here. Make sure keep helping out Drew and Infowars.com. Get your iodine pills and don't drink the water, especially not in Jersey. It makes the frog gay. Thank you.
All right. And with that, we'll go over to Tommy.
Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Tommy and Naked MP Collective, where I like to talk about old toys, old movies, and some of the retro releases that are getting it right. And you know what? Every once in a while, I like to talk about the nonsense with YouTube and, just some of the ridiculousness that's going on in the world. I don't do it too often because I like to focus on the things that I enjoy the most from the past, the things that, you got to go back and you got to look at to understand why you're fighting against this ridiculous woke narrative and this ridiculous agenda that everybody is pushing right now. You got to remember why you're fighting against this stuff. And the easiest way is to go back and look at those old franchises, those old toys, those old comics, those old cartoons that you love so much. And remember, that's why you're fighting for it. You're fighting for something that you held closely to your heart, something that meant something to you back then, and never let anybody tell you just because it's a toy or it's a cartoon or it's a comic book that it doesn't matter, because most of those people know nothing about those franchises to begin with, and they're a bunch of damn phonies. Remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not watch, because your silence gives consent. And I want to thank everybody in the chat tonight. You all have been amazing. The best chat on YouTube, bar none. And of course, I want to thank our esteemed hosts, Supreme Heretic, and all the wonderful people on the panel with me, Vinny, Mock, Final, and ETEP.
Yeah, that's right. And we will go over to said Machini.
All right. Hey, thank you everybody for stopping by. Yeah, and I know we kind of definitely got really real life, really political here, but one place you will not find that is over on my channel, Machini Draws. And here we talk about art. It's straight up art. It's straight up having fun, but it really is about the art. And that's what it is first and foremost. Speaking of which, tonight, right after the Dark Council on Abu Nas's channel, we have Draw with Maki, my solo stream where I put on the tunes and I just chill out and draw with you guys. I'm going to be finishing up a Frank Frazetta piece that I've been working on a Sunday stream as well. Thursday, of course, is Thursdays, the spiciest draw stream on YouTube with me, Mads Mama Bear, and Rosetta Allen. As this Thursday, we're going to draw up some sexy mascots for the channel. So definitely check that out. Of course, Saturday is the return of Machini Live Presents Rogue Entertainment. We're back on episode 10. We're going to have a special guest in Mandy Summers, so go ahead and check that out. And of course, on Sunday, right after the Sunday Culture Review on Culture Casino, is the main show, the primetime show, Machini Live. So thank you guys for checking that out. Definitely subscribe to all these great people. Thank you all so much, everybody in the chat. Great chat on YouTube. And hail to my Rogue Entertainment brethrens. And I'll see you guys later on tonight. Much love.
Yeah, Machini, thank you. You like I said, you were like the man for segues tonight, dude.
It's like a lot of these. It was like a lot of these topics. For some reason, it kind of hit my wheelhouse in one way or another. I was like, oh damn! It was like Blizzard. Oh damn! Never got to bring up sports on it. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
And let's go over to Into the Unfamiliar, aka Final Death Star.
Well, I have breaking news. I got a release copy, a leaked copy of Vinny Art's Shadow of the Kraken. Okay, and spoiler alert: he kills off the Kraken in the first 3 pages.
No!
He kills the Kraken. I said, Vinny, are you sure this is a good idea? Is this what the people want? He said, bro, it's gonna go over so well. They're gonna love it. It's what the people want.
Betrayed us, Vinny.
So I'm a little worried. I'm a little concerned about Vinny. I think he's gone woke. But thanks, guys. And he's not here to defend himself, so he
I
left.
know,
He
right?
left.
You just saying that. You won't defend himself. Wrong for that.
Don't kill the Kraken in the first 5 pages. Thanks, guys, for all joining us today. This was a lot of fun because we started talking a little bit of He-Man, Ghostbusters, and then we ended up, as we usually do on Tuesday's show, talking about the world system and how broken it is. So, it was a great conversation. I love talking with you guys about this stuff and, just having this kind of discussion and the chat. With the chat, you guys were on fire too. You were saying some, posing some very interesting questions that were enjoyable. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's things that we wish we could say more of, but we just, we can't hear on YouTube. But I think we said a good amount. We said a good amount.
Well, final. I think it's important to reiterate to everybody that listen. This is a fight for our existence. It's also one that, it's on a spiritual level. It's on every single level that you can imagine.
Yep. I mean, it's really a battle on all fronts. The seen and unseen realms. I would say. But I mean, if you want to hear more about that, good segue. Talk about segues tonight, McKinney. There's a segue for you. Watch my show where I do talk about the paranormal, UFO phenomenon, the biblical prophecy, which I think this ties into. We kind of touched upon that a little bit with the Mark of the Beast there, and I talk more about that on my show. And the strange mysteries and hidden histories of the world. I do a live show every Sunday night. This past Sunday, you can go back and watch. Very fun discussion about the paranormal with yours truly, Supreme Heretic, and ETEP. We're both on, and we both shared some crazy stories of their paranormal experiences. So a lot of fun. The stories were fantastic. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys being on.
You guys,
can go watch that.
Of that. Yeah,
it was a very good show. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So you can watch us. I think this week we might have on Through the Veil if they're able to do it, to talk about more paranormal encounters and things that they've found. So we'll reach out to them. But it was a great show, and I will see you guys on Sunday night, 6:00 Pacific Standard Time. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Final. And listen, folks, I just wanted to say that the panel is amazing. These guys are amazing, and they got some guts in their own right for coming on here and just putting it out there, talking about what's really going on, because so many of us, depending on what our channel content is, sometimes we'll stay in the safe lane so that YouTube doesn't ding us or whatever, and we don't really get the idea across the or convey our feelings about what's going on IRL. We talk about a symptom of the problem, which is what's going on with pop culture, but that's just a small symptom. This is a huge fight, folks. This is a fight for, as we said, our existence, preserving our culture, preserving our history, but most of all, preserving our humanity. And don't forget, every single one of you, whether it's in the chat, on the panel, anytime that you can go out, use your platform, or just even in the midst of talking to your neighbors and your friends, just try to wake people up and let them know that this is a very real thing, and we are under attack right now, and we need to come out on the good side of this and prevail if we're going to be able to stay alive. And that is just God's honest truth, folks. So I thank you for your time this evening. I look forward to seeing you again. Make sure you catch Pegasus Actual Thursday. We're going to have the first of a two-parter for the finale of season 3, so you won't want to miss that for Battlestar Galactica if you're a fan of that. And there's no politics on that stream. And then on, tomorrow, catch me on Bounty into Comics Live with Spencer, Don, and John Trent. I believe John's going to be out this week. It's just going to be me, Spencer, and Don. But catch us on there. And then on the weekend, you will probably see me out and about as, I do a High Heresy stream this weekend. So I've got a lot planned. So make sure that you come and check out the content on my channel and all of these wonderful creators' channels. And also support great people like According to Christy, who is also amongst our family in Rogue Entertainment. And I just want to say again, thank you so much, chat. You are indeed the best chat on YouTube. So until next time, hang in there, take care of yourselves and each other. And man, rest in peace, Joey Jordison, great drummer of Slipknot. Sad news today of Joey Jordison's passing. But hey, just remember, it's not all sick.
They think it's right to murder. They want to murder. Look at all the people, and they get a kick out of it. A sexual kick out of it. The whole thing, I think it's sick. 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 The whole thing, I think it's